So my plan was to create a beautiful photo and video montage of the vacation I took to celebrate my loving wifey, my bestie Lisa's birthday, and to announce that I had received my 501c3 letter from the IRS. So now my company is officially a nonprofit. But wouldn't you know it, I got a CyberStalker, so I can't do it. And even though it wasn't exactly what I wanted, I had an elaborate plan to showcase my super cute chrome manicure. But I can't, because I got a CyberStalker. And although this ain't no fetish channel, I was going to slip in a video of me tootsies for all you feet connoisseurs out there. But I can't concentrate, because I got a CyberStalker. Then I was going to share my Lyft airport ride photo shoot, along with my arriving in Vegas photo shoot. But again, I can't, because I got a CyberStalker. Then I was going to share me and wifey's beautiful selfies and the photos of the yummy wild Spanish octopus, the chalpino, and the Chilean sea bass we absolutely devoured at the water grill in Caesar's Palace. But I can't do caca, because I have a CyberStalker. And I was even going to show me eating on camera for those campers who love to watch chicas eat. But I can't do it, because I got a CyberStalker. Then I was going to show you how happy I was that the restaurant got my message about it being wifey's birthday after I booked the reservation online. But I can't do it, because I got a CyberStalker. Then I was going to figure out a way to present all the beautiful pictures that we took at the Grand Canyon. But I can't do it, because as you know, Tuchika got a CyberStalker. And lastly, I was going to figure out how to show you the loving pictures of wifey and me as she departed for the airport. But sadly, none of that's going to happen, because instead of wanting to share my awesome vacation and my fabulous tax-exempt news, all I really want to do is blast that pussy-ass CyberStalker in hopes of empowering women all over the net to fight back against all misogynistic, low-life, crybaby, butthurt cyberstalkers posing as men. So the other day, I woke up and, as usual, I checked my social media. So as I was scrolling through the notifications, I saw that fuckboy CyberStalker had tagged me in a whole odd-ass post about weight. So I giggled and responded, because I ain't no pussy. And once he realized his weird-ass post didn't go as he'd planned, I'd hoped he'd stop. But a hope ain't shit but a good plan without action, so I stepped up. Realizing I needed to figure out what I typed that provoked this year's barrage of unprovoked assaults by this cyber nut, I began searching Facebook for my comment zero. And let me tell you what, when I finally found it, I gotta admit, I was pretty taken aback, because my comment that started this fool's public descent into madness was on an alternate reality, what if kind of post about TV characters on the TV shows A Different World and Scandal. And since it was an alternate reality kind of post, my comment kept in the spirit of the joke. But wouldn't you know it, right under my comment rides up Crazy Horse, again insulting without provocation, looking as loony as ever because TV characters on sitcoms and serial dramas aren't real, which he obviously had no idea about because someone on the post had to explain the joke to him, which makes perfect sense because he ain't got no home, which means he probably ain't got no TV neither. So I giggled and ignored him. But because he's nutso, I knew that wouldn't be the last I'd heard from him, which kind of bummed me out because who wants to spend hours on end on social media defending themselves from the hysterical rants of a raving lunatic? But because I wanted to honor my time with Lisa appropriately, I was feeling kind of guilty about not writing the blog and editing all of our footage. So I decided to just write a post about it. Soon after the post went up, there was a bit of confusion over the loving way I referred to my wife. But after some clarification, I assumed the post was done. However, sadly, Senor Loco couldn't resist, and he just had to come on my post, and he tried to insult me again, at which time I responded again. And apparently my response prompted another fun-loving chica to respond on the thread, allowing us to have a good laugh at Crazy Horse's expense, which I gotta be honest, it sent that angry weirdo into the stratosphere of frustration. In fact, that loon was so heated, I don't even think he slept all night, because the very next morning, he came back battered, bruised, and bitter, with fingers locked and loaded, because no sooner than I clicked on my notifications, I saw that he had tagged me and the other fun-loving chica to a post he made about us. And because I love to giggle, and I personally think I'm hilarious, I responded. But my latest response was obviously where he assumed I'd fucked up, because it was at that point he went berserk, and there was just no stopping him from making the biggest fool of himself. Because immediately after my response, he created another post proving his insanity by again attempting to insult my looks, which, read for yourself, ain't go over too well for him. So apparently, out of frustration that he couldn't find many equally as pathetic busters to co-sign and laugh at me, he made yet another post disparaging my looks, which again did not go so well for him, because it forced me to reveal why he was so heated with me for these past 7 years. So when the third post failed to yield the outcome he desired, he just said fuck it, and he resorted to stalking me from post to post, insulting me, and besmirching my character. But wouldn't you know it, that strategy also fell flat. Now any sane person would give up and move past some ages-old cyber rejection. But sadly, this fool could not, because he actually made yet another post, again attempting to disparage my looks. And since there wasn't much left for him to do, because his attacks were so abhorrent, ill-conceived, obviously super wrong, and just flat out corny as fuck, all subsequent posts and comments just look like the unhinged rantings of a bona fide lunatic. At this point, it's beyond obvious this fool is bonkers because he hasn't even tried to articulate what his issue is with me. So it's safe to assume he's not concocted a convincing enough lie as to why he incessantly attacks me, opting to attack or ignore all who see his utter insanity, because he knows I speak the truth. So with that, I think I'm going to give Not So Fly Tie the Better Luck Next Time award and hope that he agrees that he's ugly as fuck, obviously fucking crazy, and him not having a home or a job matters. So he needs to get over the past year's rejection and me. It may seem like I was making light of cyberstalking and cyberbullying, but I wasn't. What Tyrone is doing is definitely aggressive and it's violent. And I absolutely have a right to enjoy my time online. But I responded and did this video because I have been victimized. I have been in a position where I had no power and no one was going to help me. 20 years ago, I was stalked in Las Vegas for months, maybe, I'm not really sure. From the time I noticed I was being stalked to the time it all came to a boiling point. It was about 2 months. I never met the guy. I know it was a guy. I never met him. And at first it started out, I wasn't interested and I was a little scared, but it started out sweet. Nice, like notes, not in an envelope, so you weren't scared to open them or anything, but like nice notes, a flower. Once there was candy, I just threw that away though. And like just flowers, and it was about, I guess he probably went up my steps twice a week, it seemed like. And again, he never introduced himself to me, so I didn't even know him. But I guess like it started to turn about 5 weeks into it, and it went from being like, oh wow, you've got like an intense secret admirer, to like a full-blown stalker. I remember the first thing I noticed where it had turned, there were dead flowers, like a whole bunch, like someone picked off a whole bunch of flower tops and let them die, and they were mixed with weeds, and it really stunk, and there was like a big pile. I had to like buy a new broom. That was the first thing. And then there was like a note, and it was like stabbed into my door. I don't know, like they took, it was in a nail, but like they took the nail and jabbed it in a couple times, and they put this note on there, and it just was like I was a bitch. And I was like, really? And then it escalated even further. One day I came home and I went up my steps, and just before I walked just in front of the threshold, I know sometimes I can't talk, just in front of the threshold, there was like a dead mouse. I had tried to get Las Vegas police to come help me. They would not. And I just, no one, I had friends who said I could stay there, but I wanted to stay in my place. So it all came to a head. I came home from work one day and I noticed that my door was kicked in, And of course I knew it was like this loon. I was really scared, but this was like before cell phones. Everybody just had them. I didn't have one 20 years ago. If you did, I didn't have one. So I didn't know what to do. My neighbor wasn't home. It was just a hot mess. Like, it was gross. So I had no choice but to really walk in there. So I walked in and my TV was still there. So at that point I was a little confused. I didn't know if I had been robbed, if he was waiting. So I was just super like scared. So I decided to walk into the kitchen because I'll be honest, I had been self-medicating since the first pile of flowers, the dead ones. So I went to my kitchen. I was going to grab a knife and get a drink. You know, like, I don't know. I was young. What was I think? Anyway, I was going to grab a knife and get a drink. I grabbed the knife and then I went into my refrigerator and this fool had drunk up all my Crown Royal. All of it. So I was like, all right. So I had the knife. So I was going to go into my room and go find my stash of weed. And I go into my room and it's been like ransacked. And he smoked up all my weed. And I was like feeling like super frustrated and scared and paranoid. And, you know, I didn't know what to do. So I sat down, I grabbed my phone, you know, the cordless phone, and I'm just like kind of walking through my bedroom, picking stuff up. And, you know, I get the police on the phone and they're like, we're talking and I'm babbling and, you know, popping off. And I go, oh my God, like he stole my quarters. And they were like, what else? You know, we're not going to come out for quarters. So I was like, you're not going to come out for quarters. I said, someone kicked my door in. And the lady is like, if it's not that bad, we're not, you know, it's going to be a while. So I started looking and I was like, you know, breathing hard and like flipping out, like going berserk. And I was like, my quarters, I said, I don't know what else is missing. Someone needs to come here and help me. And they were like, they didn't help with that. I needed to take care of it. So I just hung up on her. So I started like picking up my stuff in my room and going through my clothes, trying to sort them. And come to find out, this fool has stolen all my dirty panties. All of them. Like, if y'all knew me, I'm a clothes horse. So I've always got like 30 of everything. And so I don't wash that. I don't. I'm like that, sorry. But so he had stole my dirty panties. So I didn't know what to do. I was like, the police, what are they going to do? So I went back and sat down and I didn't have no weed. I didn't have nothing to drink. I was like rocking. I was calling my friends, like, you know, I needed help. And I put my hand down on my pillow. And not my whole hand touched, but part of my fingers touched something. This fool jizzed in my pillow. And that's when I just lost it. I called Las Vegas police back, and yeah, they came like 5 hours later, and I ended up just like having to move that night. Like I went and stayed with friends. So for me, that's stalking. What this cyber fool is doing is just showing that he's a lunatic and that he really needs help. So for me, because I've decided not to allow people to take my power like that anymore, I have a right to my safety. I have a right to enjoy myself. I decided I was going to make this video. And I got this YouTube channel, and I did my very best. Well, not my very best. I just don't know what I'm doing. But I just decided people like Tyrone, you can't just let them, take it from you. The internet is meant to be fun. Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, they've all got their mores and their etiquette, and it's very difficult when you have people like Tyrone, in being super invasive and super rude. So this video is for you guys, unless it's a real stalker where real danger could happen to your person. These fools on Facebook or any social media, if they're going from post to post stalking you, you have a right to fight back. Use better language. That's why my language is so corny. I'm not letting Mark Zuckerberg dictate how much I get my word across. All right, y'all. With that, be best.